everyone, it's James here from goodguitarist.com, and in today's lesson I'm going to show you how to play High and Dry by Radiohead. Now this is a 3-chord wonder, which means the same 3 chords, same order, same strumming pattern the whole time. So once you learn this one little progression, you just keep doing it, and that's the whole song. And because of that, I'm actually going to show you how to play it both the original way, or the way that I would play it, using a bar chord. And I'm also, after that, going to show you a super easy way where we use a capo on the 2nd fret, and we can play it with 3 easy chords. So this could be like one of the first songs you learn. We're going to start out with the strumming pattern, because whether you play it the easy way or the bar chord way, it uses the same strumming pattern. It goes like this. I'll do that a little bit slower. 3 and 4 and. Now that is a longer strumming pattern. That's a 16th note strumming pattern, but we can break it down in a really simple way. First, we're going to divide it into 2 parts. First part goes like this. And if you've learned like any other songs, you've probably come across that strumming pattern. It's very common. It's just down, root, down, down, up. And root, that little R, is just a little downstroke. It just means to hit the lower strings. Just makes it sound a bit more dynamic. And with the counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Really easy, just 3 downstrokes and then a down up on beat 4. The second half, this part's a little bit trickier because there's some syncopation. We're missing on beat 1 and then we go up, down. So it's like miss, up, down. But from here, it's really simple. It's just down, up on beats 3 and 4. So this second half, I would practice saying miss, up, down, 1, miss, up, down, 3 and 4, and miss, up, down, 3 and 4, and. So take a little bit of time with that second half. Just get used to going miss, up, down. Helps a lot if you say it out loud. So just saying the strokes, miss, up, down, down, up, down, up. Just look at your arm, kind of program it by telling it what to do out loud. Tell your arm, miss, up, down, down, up, down, up. And once you're used to that, we'll put it together with the first half. Down, root, down, down, up, miss, up, down, down, up, down, up. So if you feel like you could get this strumming pattern with a little bit of practice, my recommendation to you is first learn how to say it. Say down, 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 up, miss, up, down, down, up, down, up. Write it down, write out the words, the strokes, whatever you have to do to be able to say it like I just said it. And then you kind of just go through it at your own pace. And if this strumming pattern isn't going to happen anytime soon, all you do is take the first half, that down, 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 up, and do it 2 times. And that will fulfill the same role. It won't sound exactly like the tune, like it'll be missing a little bit of the syncopation, but it totally works just going down, 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 up, down, down, down. 2 jumps in a week, I bet you think that's pretty clever. It's not that bad. Instead of the real pattern. So at this point, decide, are you going to do it the actual way, which is a little more complicated, or are you going to do it the simple way? And then practice whichever way you choose, just being able to play it a whole bunch of times in a row. Say the strokes first, do what it takes to actually be able to internalize the feeling of it and to be able to, do it all. And then when you're ready, we can move on and learn the chords. We're only going to need 3 chords for this tune. I'm going to show you how to do it without the capo, so it involves a bar chord. If you want, you can skip ahead to the easy chords. I'll put a little timestamp in the corner and you can just skip ahead right to that part and learn it the easy way. But right now we're going to do it with the bar chord. Our first shape is E. From there, we go to F sharp minor. And F sharp minor is based off of the E minor shape. You just play E minor with these 2 fingers. Save your first finger. Go up 1, 2 times. And then you put your first finger down on the 2nd fret. take a minute to like adjust the height of your finger. You could even back it up by adding your middle finger to it to add a bit more pressure. You know, you want to make sure that your elbow, your shoulder, your posture, bar chords, it's really important that your posture and everything's good in order to be able to transfer that energy onto the fretboard without over squeezing and damaging your tendons. So get your arm nice and like curled, you know. We got our F sharp minor chord, and then we have an A chord. And you can play it like that with one finger, or you could play it that way, it doesn't really matter. Let's take a minute though and practice the switching a little bit. We're just gonna go through the chord progression using downstrokes only. We're not gonna worry about adding the strumming pattern yet. Just focusing on those switches, starting off on F sharp minor, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. A. And then 2 measures of E. So we count to 4 twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. And if you still have some trouble with that F sharp minor chord, I have a course called Barre Chords Made Easy, which does exactly that. You know, it kind of gradually builds you up into bar chords. So I'll put a link to that down below if you need any extra help. Otherwise, now that we've worked through our chord shapes, we've worked through our strumming pattern, all we got to do is put it together. Starting off on F sharp minor, we're going to do our strumming pattern once on that shape, once on A, and then twice on E. And if you're using the simpler strumming pattern, we do it 2 times on F sharp minor, 2 times on A, and then 4 times on E. You know, so we're just doubling up that simple, shorter pattern to fit the amount of space that we need. Here we go, nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's just that chord progression and that strumming pattern, and that'll get you through the whole tune. Now, there are a couple spots where we could do something a little bit different just to make it sound exactly like the original recording. You know, just a few little details. So let's go through those right now. The first little change happens during the first chorus. Starts off like usual, just doing our chord progression. Leave me high. And then here it's going to be a bit different. Don't leave me dry. And that one's really easy. For the A chord, we're just doing a downstroke and then letting it ring. The trick is to count. You know, it has to take up the same amount of time as if you were strumming. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You our strumming pattern takes up 4 beats, so we have to count out that 4 beats as we strum A. Super duper simple. This is gonna happen again at the very end of the song. So it's gonna go. So at the very end of the song, they do that on A, and then it ends with a single stroke on E. And the only other part that's a little bit different is the bridge. It goes like this. It's the best thing that you ever had. Best thing that you had. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. It's the best thing that you ever had. Best thing that you had is gone. So that part seems really simple because we're barely doing anything, but it's actually tricky to like keep track of where you are and, you know, be on top of all the rhythm and counting. So let's go through it bit by bit. We're doing our same progression, just F sharp minor, A, and E, you know, same amount of times. We're just changing the strumming a bit. For F sharp minor, we're gonna do a downstroke on beat 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down, up. So right after 4, we go up, down, up, and that gets us into our A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down, up, A, 2, 3, 4, up, down, up, E, and we just let this ring. 3, 4, 1, 2, same thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down, up, A, 2, 3, 4, up, down, up, and then on this E chord, we're gonna go downstrokes, starting really quiet. And we're just going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then it's into the chorus. So that whole part really slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and it's the best thing that you ever had. The best thing that you ever had. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's the best thing that you ever had. The best thing that you had is gone away. 3 and 4 and 1 and don't leave me high. So those are all the components. All we have left to do is assemble the tune. Now it's going to be the same thing for like 90% of it. It's just going to be the chords and the strumming pattern. During the first chorus, remember we have that don't leave me dry. And it's back into that, you know, and the other choruses in this song, we don't have that little downstroke thing. That's just during the first chorus, just to clarify. And then after the second chorus, we have the guitar solo, and then it's the bridge. So the guitar solo is just the same as the verse, just maybe play a bit louder, be a bit more intense. And then we have the bridge, and the bridge is that you ever had, you know. So all you have to be able to do is go from our chord progression while strumming into that bridge, and you're golden. You can play through the entire song, you know. So just practice that if you are having any trouble with it. Otherwise, that's it. You're ready to go. So with all that in mind, let's try putting this together a little bit. It's going to be pretty straightforward, just playing through a bit of the song nice and slow. Starting off on F sharp minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and practice going into the bridge. Here we go. It's the best thing that you ever had. The best thing that you had is 1, 2, 3. It's the best thing that you ever had. The best thing that you had is gone away. Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. Now let's practice the ending. It goes like this. Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. Now, there is one other thing I wanted to show you, and that was how we can play this song using a capo on the 2nd fret. And you don't need a capo. You could play it without the capo using those 3 chord shapes. But you won't be able to play along to the original recording. They'll be in different keys. It'll sound weird. So that's why we use the capo. But you know what? For the sake of this lesson, let's just leave the capo off. Let's just practice it in the normal spot, just for those of you that don't have one of these yet. So our first chord is E minor, and I recommend playing it with these 2 fingers. And then we're going to switch to a G chord. And for that switch, you can leave this finger down. We can switch into our G shape. And then we're going to leave our ring finger down and switch into our D shape. So if you're still working on these shapes, I recommend trying that, using these fingerings, pivot off of that finger, pivot off of that finger, and just work that out. Now we're going to play downstrokes only, going through our chord progression, just for some practice. We're going to forget about the strumming for now and just focus on those shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Now that we've worked through the switching, let's practice adding the strumming pattern to this. And that's all you have to do. Once you've done this, you know the song. Now, remember there was 2 ways that we could do the strumming pattern. There's the slightly trickier way where it's like, and there's also the simpler way where we just take the first half of that pattern and play it twice. So, for this play along, I'm going to do both of them. I'm going to do the simple one a couple times, and then I'm going to do the complex one for the second half of it. Let's go for it. Starting off on E minor, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. the other strumming pattern. So there you go. That's high and dry in both the original key and then with a capo to make it way easier and with a bit of simplified rhythm. Whichever way you play it, remember to just practice it in components and then put it all together, just like we did in this lesson. If you need any extra help, I have my free ebook. I have my Barre Chords Made Easy, my course. I have my beginner course for, chord shapes like these basic ones, and for the strumming, to help you out with all your rhythm. That's totally what the beginner course is about. And the chord chart for this is available on my Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to support the channel. And that's it. Have a fun time practicing. I'll see you soon.